to yet another devastating police data breach, this time revealing the personal details of sexual assault victims in a leak of over 1,000 people. Norfolk and Suffolk constabularies have also admitted identifiable information on witnesses was included in the published data. The two police forces said they had been responding to a Freedom of Information request regarding crime statistics when they mistakenly included the details in an Excel spreadsheet. The data also features descriptions of offences including hate crime and domestic violence. Now, in a statement on behalf of both forces, Suffolk Constabulary apologised for the incident, adding that they regretted any concern that it may have caused the public. Now, this comes after an industrial-scale breach of data in Northern Ireland last week that saw details of around 10,000 officers and staff published online for a number of hours. Right, it's of the utmost importance that witnesses and victims have trust in the police when they come forward. Now, what the police have said is that nobody outside the police force actually laid eyes on this information. However, GDPR training, data training has to be right up there in every single police force so this kind of thing doesn't happen.
What I don't understand is how this can be casually included in an Excel spreadsheet. Yeah. I don't know about any of you guys. I hate Excel. It's very difficult to use. And when you're entering stuff in there, you've got to be very aware of what you are doing.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, there's two different things at play here. There's the Northern Ireland case, and then there's what happened with Suffolk and Norfolk. I think when it comes to Northern Ireland, or perhaps entering a different time where there's dissidents who do still want to have a culture of fear in Northern Ireland. And they're using different ways to approach that. You know, the digital age, we're stealing data. We know who police officers are. Therefore, we know where they live. We know how to try and get to them. I think that's something completely different. But when it comes to Suffolk and Norfolk police accidentally entering all these details of all these people into a spreadsheet, I don't buy it. It's just basic incompetence.
It's complete. I mean, there's a couple of things going on. Firstly, you've got people who, I mean, sometimes civilians, whoever presses buttons and, you know, oh my God, I meant to send this to one person, I just sent it to the entire press gallery of Fleet Street or whatever. So you've got that basic incompetence. You've got the point that why would you put all that data in one place?
Yeah.
But actually, the wider issue is outside of not just the police, big institutions. I spoke to a guy that specialises in kind of corporate security and the like, and he says, what happens? The amount of companies that look at it as like a kind of optional extra these days. It's like, because there's a lot of money to get your security correct. And they go, well, do we really need that? And this fella sits in a car park with a laptop before he has a meeting with a CEO and finds out his bank details, his kids' names, birth certificates and everything, and then goes into the meeting and says, have you got security? Perfect security. He says, well, why do I know this then? And reads it out to the fella.
Wow.
And people are gobsmacked because they still, even though we see these stories, and we have done for years, despite that, it's just seen as like, oh, it'll be fine, stick it in the Excel spreadsheet.
It's idiotic, isn't it?
And it's not.
You know, they can't do anything right, it seems. I mean, they can't keep secrets. They can't. I mean, it's actually really dangerous, you know, for witnesses to have their names out there, and potentially, you know, risking their lives.
And they were doing this intentionally as well. Well, they didn't mean to, you know, leak the data, but whoever's, I don't know if you ever made a Freedom of Information request, but, you know, famously, the police are not great at always giving away the sort of stuff that you're asking for. You know, there's a lot of barriers to accessing information.
Be in a special place. It shouldn't be leakable.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be able to be leaked.
Yeah. Like, am I the only one who's not that concerned about it? Like in Northern Ireland, this happening, I understand the ramifications of that. But I don't think there's some kingpin sat in Norfolk who's been waiting all this time to get the witnesses' details.
It's incompetence, though, isn't it?
It's massively incompetent. It's massively incompetent. And you're right about the fact that it costs so much money and companies just don't bother with it.
Yeah, they just...
What was that company called, the dating one, where you could go on and have affairs online? Madison something?
Oh, yeah, Madison.
Yeah.
Like pretending like he didn't know what it was.
All my password. But they had the same thing to them. They were told your data's going to be leaked unless you bump up security, and they said, nah, what's the point? And then obviously it all got leaked. So, but this is so, as much as I want to say the police are incompetent, which they are, this seems to just be like a common theme in lots of companies.
I think it will have an effect as well, though, because if somebody says, would you like to be a witness in this case, and there's enough difficulty convincing people to give evidence against something they've seen on the street, particularly if it's a neighbour or something, and now they're going to go, well, you will probably lose it or leak it. I mean, I'm not going to talk to you. And I think it could have that effect.
Yeah.
True.
Potentially, but witnesses need to have, they need to be given these guarantees, or there needs to be a system in place whereby if it's a particularly sensitive case, they can go there either anonymously or use an alias.
Invisible ink is the way.
Invisible ink. Invisible ink and disguises.
You just, hold a lighter under it and you go, there it is.
I mean, we need to have police forces that we trust and that we can believe in. And
Good luck.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't seem like any police force anywhere.
No.
I mean, the Metropolitan Police have taken a bashing, and quite rightly so. I mean, today you had 6 officers, you know, have been sending racist messages. They've been charged with that. I mean, it doesn't seem like there is any police force anywhere that seems to have a clue what they are up to.
They're not having a good century, are they? I mean, they haven't done anything right since about,
having a good
1991 or something.
But I actually think that you'd find probably within the civil service, in the kind of public sector, there's probably all manner of these kind of issues where stick it on an Excel spreadsheet. You know, you might as well just, you know, post it in the town centre, frankly.
Yeah.